Okay guys, it's time to talk about Namor. I waited a little bit to talk about this just to see if there was anything else that was going to pop up. Unfortunately, there isn't, so let's talk about what we know. And allegedly, Namor is still owned by Universal. Okay, so quick brief history highlight here. Namor, very complex character rights. It's probably one of the most complex contracts in existence when it relates to a superhero property. And it dates all the way back to the 90s, where Marvel started to sell off multiple properties and associated characters. Essentially, what happened is that Namor was split, from what I have found and people I've talked to, between 4 different contracts. One that allows elements of his story to be explored with Fox that would have been explored with Fantastic Four, hence why Rise of the Silver Surfer at the end, they tease a flood and a sinking city, setting up Namor. And again, Fox could have used the mutant element of Namor. Where things get more complex is that Universal had the film rights to a standalone Namor outing. But they would not be allowed to use Namor as a mutant. They would be allowed to use Namor essentially as what he's known as, which is the Submariner. This would have involved some more restrictions, specifically ones related to the comics that nobody's really clear on. Then there was the original creation and paperwork behind that, which allegedly was stuck on one side of the argument between Marvel, and then the Marvel side, which involves the comics and the different versions of Namor. Essentially, we've gotten rid of the Fox factor, we've got rid of the Marvel and the comic factor. That's all now under Marvel Studios and Disney. The only one that's still in play is Universal and Marvel Studios, Disney. And from what we recently learned is essentially this is almost just like the Incredible Hulk situation, where Universal still holds the solo distribution rights of a Namor film. And for Marvel Studios to use him, they would have to do something else. They would have to borrow the character and put a different spin on him. Meaning that the reason we got the Namor we did, that's different than what Namor is in the comics, not just out of necessity for the story and his origin, is also part because of Namor's assets, for lack of a better term, being held by Universal. Now, to make this even more complex, there's a old picture. There's actually a couple old pictures on the internet from Comic-Cons in 2004 and 2005. And Marvel had a slate of films. And at this stage, Iron Man was announced. But again, it was still early in development and was under Universal. And Universal had a logo for Namor that was there, and it's the logo from this run of Namor from 2003. And again, a reminder, Iron Man was also with Universal, but it was Avi Arad who went to Universal and got the character back for Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios. Clearly, Namor was not a part of that package deal, and due to the acquisition of Fox and all the other things, they own the majority of Namor now, but still not the final, what I would say is probably the most important piece, which is, well, the solo film distribution. So I guess we'll see what happens next. But yeah, Namor is essentially in the middle of multiple rights issues that still stem from Universal.